Maybe you're not failing the lesson. Maybe there was never a lesson for you to learn. Lately, I've been thinking about life lessons and life experiences. And I've been trying to analyze the difference between the two. And I realized there is a huge difference when you connect, when you try to look at it, when you try to analyze it from your own point of view. This is what I always talk about awareness, about life and life lessons and life experiences. And today I'm getting to the core of it from my point of view. So, what got me to talk about this is in most of the spiritual places, spaces rather. The talk is always about learn your lesson. Maybe the lesson is to set a boundary. Maybe the lesson is to understand it to the core so that the cycle is complete and you begin a new cycle and you shift your timeline, etc., etc. And suppose there is something in your life that keeps repeating. It's like you feel as if you're going through a loop that refuses to that refuses to stop, and the vicious cycle keeps on going on, and you automatically start to believe that maybe you're doing something wrong. if the loop is not if the loop is not ending, if the cycle is not ending, maybe you're doing something wrong. Maybe the lesson is not getting integrated, maybe the lesson is not being learned, and you continue with this vicious cycle. So what you have done is there is already an existent vicious cycle that is repetitive, that is going on and on and on. And in the process of trying to get closure about this cycle, you have created, go with me on this one, you have created another vicious cycle where you start to believe that you're doing something wrong time and again, because this refuses to close you this cycle refuses to close as well, because it's continuously keeping you in the loop of believing that you're not doing something right, of believing that you're not learning the lesson, you're not integrating the lesson, so on and so on and so on. So these two cycles are just now circling non-stop. So what do you do? This is These two cycles are pulling at your heart, the way I look at it, your heart chakra, your heart. One is pulling the heart this way, one is pulling the heart this way. And it's too much for the heart to bear. So at a time like that, you need a third person, a third energetic field, your third eye, or however you want to look at it, a more superior understanding. Let me let me try and explain it in an easier way. Let's say there are two siblings, two brothers or two sisters, or brother sister, however it is, there are two siblings, and they fight. Siblings always fight, and one of the fights, and it's constant, right? They keep on fighting, and it's usually the mother who steps in and who separates the siblings and maybe lectures them a little bit and moves on, gives them space. Eventually the siblings get back to their original bond, which has come within them when they came here. That's the core. That cannot be broken. So, that is what the third person does, the mother, in this case, in my example. Your higher understanding, your higher self, your third eye, however you want to give it any name, give it any definition, but something more superior, something more um, has a higher knowledge, has to intervene and stop these two cycles from going on and on and on again. Awareness, maybe, I would like to call it awareness. And this superior energetic field will stop your cycles by explaining to both these cycles that this is this, give it space, and eventually both these cycles merge, and your heart is in a safe place. The heart is beating, the heart has realized, the heart has understood, and you feel it's like an aha moment. It's like, wow, the entire life this has been going on. But today I understand that at the end of it, it's all at the core. It has to come here. We have to congregate everything, all the life experiences, and bring it back to the core. Imagine, how can I say this? How can I explain this? Imagine someone is going through a constant heartbreak. When I say heartbreak, I'm not specifying about love. It is about love. It is about love is not necessarily with just one person or a soulmate or a twin flame, however it is. Love is from every direction. It is the love that you receive and give as a child to your parents. You receive love from your parents, from your siblings, from your children, from your spouse, from the best friends, from your pet. It's a give and take. That's a different kind of love. Love for your place, love for your the place that you work, love for the routine, love for the wherever you live, just your neighborhood. It's a lot of love that goes and comes within you. So imagine there is someone who is constantly experiencing heartbreak. Heartbreak from the family, heartbreak maybe from the parents, maybe this person, maybe someone is constantly wanting to do something, but they never got the support from their parents. Anyway, they try to do it half heartedly, not trying to do it, but they're experiencing the heartache, they're experiencing the heartbreak of not being able to experience the unconditional support that they want from their parents. Heartbreak it is. Then someone, the same person is experiencing heartbreak through love. Maybe they never receive the kind of love from a person based on their expectations or their memory experiences, however it is. But the heart is broken time and again, not once, twice. Maybe I'm not saying that you know someone is having a million relationships. Maybe it's just the one relationship, but the cycle is such that it keeps on the heartbreak keeps on repeating. Maybe there is a misunderstanding. Maybe this person is not able to hear you the way you want to be heard. Maybe this person is not able to give you what it is that you want to give, that what it is you want to receive to the best of their ability, and you take it as a heartbreak. I'll speak about that, the 50-50 of a heartbreak, in some other video. But at the moment, this person is going through a heartbreak from, let's say, just the one relationship time and again. And this person feels that it's a cycle that it's repeating again and again and again. This person is experiencing heartbreak from friends, best friends, maybe. Maybe the best friends are constantly ridiculing them because it's become a habit. Maybe because it's just how the friendship began. Maybe it's just the dynamic of the friendship. So through friendship also, this person is experiencing someone is experiencing this heartbreak time and again. Through maybe this someone has experienced tremendous loss, losing a loved one, maybe losing someone really special in life. Maybe it could be losing a pet. That's a heartbreak, and at another level, let me say. This person is experiencing heartbreak through the work. Maybe they are passionate about some kind of work, and they are not getting anything in return despite putting in all the effort, despite putting in all the hard work, despite putting in mind, body, and soul, let me say it. But there are no returns. That is heartbreak. That is, again, it's heartbreak. These kind of heartbreaks are, you cannot put them in words. They have to be felt, they are experienced. So this someone has experienced heartbreak at every level, from every angle. And this someone is constantly thinking, what am I doing wrong? Because this someone is not able to understand that it is an experience to to experience that heartbreak to the fullest. That is what maybe this someone has come here to experience in this lifetime. But the narrative in the head, because of maybe trying to find answers, the narrative has become such that what am I doing wrong? Maybe if I do it this way, it will change. Maybe if I do it that way, maybe if I vibrate higher, maybe if I manifest, maybe if I pray harder, maybe if I shed some more tears, what am I doing wrong? Because this person has done everything possible for this heartbreak to end, and it is not ending. So the narrative keeps on telling this person, no, you're doing something wrong. You have to learn the lessons. You've not learned the lessons. You've not set your boundaries. You've not vibrated high enough. You've not, you're not, you're not giving up on expectations so that the universe can reward you because you're putting in so much effort with your work and with your passion and everything, blah, blah, blah. Is that really the narrative? Think about it. Maybe this narrative itself is wrong. Maybe this person is here just to experience it all to the fullest. So the question is, how do you know that there is a life lesson that is missing, that is not being integrated, that is not um, being understood by the self? Or is it a life experience that is not fully experienced? That's the real question. That is a question only you can answer for yourself. You have to ask yourself, if all of these things are looping in your life, in your mind, in your heart, in your soul, and it's going on and on and on, you have to sit. You actually have to sit with yourself in silence and ask yourself, the way I the best way that I can simplify is ask yourself that what are the things that I have experienced in life. Since I spoke about heartbreak, let's talk about heartbreak. How much heartbreak have you experienced so far, till whichever phase you are in life? And you think and ask yourself, honestly, am I supposed to learn something from all these heartbreaks that I've experienced, or am I meant to just experience it? That is what you have to ask yourself. And the answer will come immediately, let me tell you. You will know this if you think about the old people. Think about it. When you sit, or I don't know if you've ever spoken to anyone who's old and who's very close to passing away, someone who's really old, and you sit with them, and most of them are, there is a certain peace within them, and they are just waiting and they are just living through their life. And if you ask them, they'll talk about their life experiences with with a great smile that you can see in their eyes. I've seen this, I've experienced this, and I've seen it all. What they are trying to say is, I have seen it all and I'm ready to go. And they are ready to go because they understand at that phase in their life that they have experienced it all in their life. And they have understood at the core that there's nothing else left to experience. And they are just ready. So when the time is right, whatever it is, however the divine works, they will go. And but there is a certain peace in them. If you will notice that with most of the really old people. And if there is a certain regret and longing, then they know that whatever that experience is, it has taught them a lesson. And that lesson was so painful. That is why there is a certain pain in within them. And you can see it in their eyes you can hear it in the words that they say that, we are here, we are alone, we did so much for our children and we brought them up and now they are living their own lives and nobody keeps in touch with us and nobody meets us in this and that. That is a severe pain. But they were meant to experience it, but at the same time that pain stays with them till the end. And you can see it in their eyes that they have experienced it all. The lesson that they were supposed to learn, I don't know what the lesson it is that they are supposed to learn, but you can tell, you can see it, and you can learn from them. And that's when you can ask yourself, whatever phase or stage you are in life, am I here to experience it all, or am I here to learn certain lessons? you will get your answer. If you feel that, wow, I have experienced so much heartbreak, there is nothing more that I need to experience anymore. That's it. That was your experience. You've experienced it all. And maybe your timeline will shift. Maybe you will experience something else. Maybe that cycle gets over at that time. And then you start experiencing something else that you're meant to experience. Joy and laughter and true love and all those things, But because you're so confused, the narrative is not letting you exit this experience. You are unable to experience the new experiences where the heart is put together, where there are no vicious cycles that are going here and there, and where the supreme, the divine, your higher self, whatever it is, does not have to intervene all the time to put it together, and then the cycle goes on, to put it together and the cycle goes on. If you understand for yourself, if you get a if you get that clarity within yourself, it's the bond is mind, body, soul is bonded forever the way it's meant to. And the new aligned, so called aligned, that word, experiences loop will begin again. And maybe your higher self is smiling at you like, wow, finally, that sort of a thing. So, this is how I thought of life experiences and life lessons. I was sitting and I was thinking, and everything I say here is from my own life experiences, I would say. And I thought of this for myself and I asked these questions. So that is why I'm expressing it in this way. I cannot invent stories. I don't know how to. But this is how I wanted to help you, whoever's listening, to maybe get a different perspective on trying to understand your life lessons or your life experiences, and make it easier for you wherever you are. I'm not saying just because you hear this and then, wow, in the next 5 minutes, it's nirvana. No. Nirvana takes time, is different for all of us. Enlightenment is different for all of us. Mukti, moksha, whatever. There are different fancy words for it. However, it is, at the end of it, is just finding that peace within here, right here, when your heart is at peace. So, when your heart is pulled in 50 different directions, that's not peace. That's a lot of turmoil. Mm, You don't need that. You need to put it all back together. So, sit, look in the mirror, talk to yourself, analyze for yourself, be truthful to yourself. I always say, be true to yourself. You don't have to announce to the whole world, this is my truth and listen to me. And it's not that way. Truth is to yourself. You've spoken the truth, you've analyzed your truth, you've accepted your truth, and it's within you, and you keep it within yourself. That's fine. And that truth stays with you till you take your last breath. It's a beautiful experience because you're experiencing it all within yourself now. That's good. You don't need to share it with anybody. You can share it with yourself. And you're your best friend every day. So think about it that way. Think about what I've said. And I hope it's you, help you with just like to open your mind to this perspective. That's all it is. Open your mind to a different perspective. What comes later, those are choices. So if you like this kind of content, subscribe to my channel, stay connected, and let's see what I come up with next.